be standing here right by your side. I will be standing here till the end of time. I will be standing here all through the night, till the stars align. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die, so come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling, we're making moves. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. We're rising, we're falling, we're making moves. We're climbing, we're soaring, 1,000 views. Come and fly away, come and fly away, come and fly away with me.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. How is everyone today? I hope you're all good. And I can't help it. I love that intro. I don't know about you guys, but I love that intro. I love the background. I love the music. It's very uplifting to me anyways. Okay, let's see who else here. We have Sonia. We have Selena. We have Karen, Avery, Versi, hello, Shorty, Bonnie. We have Kathy, hello, Shalima, Penny, Christola, Bonnie. Oh, we done said Bonnie. And we have Karen and Nana of Life. Hello, everybody. Well, hello, Jack. I'm so glad to see everybody here. You were doing your stretches to the music. I thought about going back and getting the full music to both of those songs. I would like to do something with both of those songs. I love them. I really do. And of course, Christola, worked her magic with the background and the video and stuff. So proud of her. Remain Calm is going to be on panel with me this evening, guys. So when she gets up here, you guys show her some love. I mean, there's a lot of people that know a lot about this case, but this lady literally has notebooks full that she has kept since the beginning of the case. So. But as you'll see going across the bottom of your screen, guys, that's all the names that I could come up with and that you all could come up with that are people of interest in this case. And, of course, till you get to the end, and somebody had said that Ellie said that, everybody is a suspect at this point. So I guess they mean all of Hawkins County. So, I mean, we can't put that many names up there. And we dang sure can't rule them all out. So, got granddaughter, so I will be in and out of chat. That's fine, Kathy. We understand. I'm pretty sure that pretty much all of us have grandkids except for maybe Christola. Hello, Redmilla. And it starts, of course. Don't know. Oh, well. Anyways, so as soon as Mary gets up here, we're going to start the discussion. Yeah, remain calm. She got back a hold of me. Her daughter is back in the hospital, but she doesn't have the grandbabies tending to them right now. So she says it will give her a get her mind off things so that she don't have to worry so much. Has anyone watched Johnny B? I started to watch a little bit of it this morning, and then Don B picked it up where I left it off, and he says that Johnny B says a couple of his videos got took down. Something happened to them. I don't know what. I haven't checked myself, but I'm assuming it's probably the ones where he actually recorded law enforcement talking. Is that what it is, Rhonda? Hello, Rhonda Moon. Yeah, they did get removed. Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured that's what it was probably about, is because law enforcement didn't want their selves out there on YouTube. You like him, None of Life? I haven't determined whether I like him yet or not. I mean, I don't dislike him. He's not done anything to cause me to dislike him. He's just a little bit forward. I left him a message telling him, all of us have tried, so good luck in his endeavors when it comes to this case. Wasn't being smart, I was being nice, but he never responded, so I don't know. Hello, and he said he's working with YouTube to get them back up. He has guts. Thinking of going to Tennessee. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, he's well, I won't say that. When somebody else found him and sent me the link, she said he was a copycat, or a wannabe, should I say. He's really got some cojones. I don't know. Have you a link to his channel? No, but I can get it real quick if you want me to. Not a problem. Hang on one second. It'll be in the chat, ladies. There you go. Well, hello, Mama Sita. Coleslaw, how is YouTube letting you use the ferry? I went to change my name back, and it won't let me add the ferry anymore. I didn't even realize. I know Kathy told me she was going to put it on there. Oh, you do have it on there, don't you? Kathy wants everybody to add a ferry. If you are one of Nana's Angels, add a ferry to the end of your name, guys. I thought that was sweet of her to suggest. None of Life says, when he called Hawkins County and got directly to who he needed to talk to and everything else and started questioning me, it was amazing. It was cool. Honey, he did not. He did not. That is, I don't know how many of his videos you watched, but he did not call directly up there and get a hold of who he wanted to talk to. The reason that they called him back was because he was aggravating the sheriff's department. Starting at like 4 o'clock in the morning, he was calling and asking what Donwells was having for breakfast and what time do they serve breakfast, and is he any kin to Ronnie Lawson? And he was just asking all kinds of crazy questions. And later on that day, Cliff, whatever his name is, supposedly John Pruitt's boss, called him back and said, hey, I hear you're, questioning him, not me. Right. But his boss called and said, hey, what are you doing? I hear you're calling, asking what Don Wells had for breakfast. And then he told him that he was going to call him back because he didn't have any way to record him. He didn't tell him that, but that's why. And so when he got home that day, he called and he just told him that the guy was expecting his call. So no, he didn't just call straight up there and get through to him. You're on Android tablet when I put it on. Are you on a phone? Yeah, she's on a phone. Hello, Nana, two boys. Well, I don't know where Remain Calm is. She's supposed to be coming on. Hello, Rapunzel. Redmilla. Glad to see you guys here. Yeah, I heard that part about breakfast and stuff. I've watched probably 4 or 5 of his videos. I just like him. I think he's got guts. I think he's confident. He does seem to be confident, and he does seem like he has guts. And he does have some big old cojones. I grant you that. Hey, from New Jersey, love Nana's channel. Well, thank you. That's interesting. Like that name too. Fingers crossed, Cristola. We're hoping. Well, I guess maybe Mary's not coming up. I don't know. When she comes in, I'll add her up here. So we're about ready to get started. I don't know exactly how we're going to get started on this. But like I said, guys, all the names are running across the bottom of the screen there. These are all the people that I could think of that have been brought up in this investigation. All the people that made comments on the video in the comment area that you all could think of that the names need to be. There's lacking one. Somebody told me to put Ronnie Lawson's name up there. I did consider it. Confidence can come off as arrogant sometimes. That's true. It's not, no, I don't think that's even the problem anybody has with Johnny B. I think what the problem people are having with Johnny B is that he is coming in a year and a month after everybody else has done everything they can think of to try to figure something out. And he's coming in like a big bombshell, acting like he's just going to waltz in here and just solve the case in 2 weeks. That's why I think that he's triggered a lot of people. Because for him to just assume that he's that good, he ought to come in and have some humility to himself is all I'm saying. I'm sorry I misspoke. He just has a way about him, and it gets him where he needs to go. I don't discredit him none of life, and I'm not saying anything about you liking him. I mean, that's fine, hon. He does have what it takes to get you places. He does. I agree. I see you got your angel, huh? Well, technically it's a fairy. They would be Rapunzel, except that I won't put... I know I did put the one minor on the list, but that's only because, I mean, he was literally right there. Hey, Mary, you're here. I'm dropping a link, hon. But I won't put the boys' names on there. I won't. We can just all agree to put them aside and figure that out later. I mean, if we rule out everybody else on this list and that's the only names left, then we know that's where it's at.
Got me here?
Yeah, I got you. Hello, Miss Mary.
Hi, Nana. It's so good to hear your voice.
Well, it's good to hear yours too. I'm glad that you're feeling better. Your daughter is she doing better or not so better?
She's doing better, and they know that it's a bacterial infection in the brain, so we're just waiting to see what antibiotic they're going to put her on.
Oh, that's good. Oh, we got that squeaking sound again. Wonder what it is.
I don't know. I turned my phone down a little bit. It may have been up too loud.
Okay. And everybody, if you would, please Miss Tina Woodworth, the other day she was driving into town to check on a job, and she has to drive like 30, 40 miles to get into town. And she drove through a pocket of natural gas, and it almost caused her to pass out behind the wheel. They wound up evidently having to pull her car off to the side of the road. They wound up calling an ambulance to take her on to the hospital. And she's only contacted me once since it happened. So, I mean, she says she's okay and stuff, but they did take her into the hospital and keep her there for a while that night. So please, everybody, say prayers for Miss Tina.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's really dangerous.
Right.
And to drive through that.
Right. Yeah, it worries me. I've never heard tell of it, though.
I've never heard anybody driving through something like that. And I'm sure that she probably couldn't even smell it.
Right. You can't smell natural gas. Looks like an active pew-pew at a Mall of America. Oh, no. Going on right now? It's live in Minnesota. What's going on at the Mall of America?
Oh, my gosh.
Hello, Brookie. Hello, Penny. I'm glad to see you're back, hon.
I'm not seeing my chat, but hi, everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry you can't see your chat, Mary.
Yeah, I can't. I'm going to try to see if I can bring it up.
Okay, guys, I'm going to take and read off these names that I have. Like I said, these are names that I could think of. These are names that you all added to. And if I've left any off, or if y'all can think of anybody besides Ronnie Lawson, okay, let me know. Okay, we have Donald Wells, Candusbly, Candace Harrer, aka Grandis, David Dodson, Robin Lane, Jackie Dobson, Billy Dishner, Fred Hill, Frank Light, Jodie Sue Brown, Andy Bernard, Damian Bernard, H. Mullaney, Allie Mullaney Harris, Marlena Crawford, Crystal Spencer, David Britt, Robert Britt, Brianna Tester, Andrew Hiltz Hayes, Jose Roman, Dudley Ajan, Don Sherfy Jr., Sonia Sessions, Tim Mullen, Daniel Sherfy, Chris Marco, George Andrew Bernard, Polly Bernard, Christopher Light, Jeffrey Light, Tony Hammonds, Jerry McLean, Brad Wisham, a.k.a. 423 Chase, Daniel Chambers, Don Chambers, Andrew Anthony Paul, Timmy Etherton. And then somebody posted Ellie's last statement on the topic was everyone is a suspect. So, and then I said, so are we speaking the whole of Hawkins County? I mean, come on. That's a pretty long list, guys.
Have you ever seen a case that had so many people?
Who could be people of interest? No, never. There's 38 names on that list.
That is crazy.
There are 38 names.
I just don't know what. I don't think Ronnie Lawson is going to be sheriff much longer for Hawkins County, to be honest.
Christella says, cough, Ronnie Lawson. Corey says, I didn't do it.
Well, it's a shame. It's a shame. The one thing I've always said, these are adult people who, of course, are hiding their own indiscretions at the sake of a little girl who's missing.
Yes. And yes, Charlie Boops, Andrew Anthony Paul is a real person. It was, from what I can understand, I may be wrong, but it was one of Marlena Crawford's boyfriends.
Now, Marlena, her and Candace were good friends, right?
Well, they were.
You know what? It seems like a lot of them women who were friends with Candace aren't friends with Candace anymore.
Right.
And
well,
I think Candace was just the type when she was done using somebody up, she was done with them.
Well, there is a famous thing of it being, real good pill buddies. And when the
Yeah.
pills ain't there, the buddies ain't there. Nana, have you looked into what I mentioned the other day? You will have to remind me, sweetheart. I've got so many things. Okay, hold up. What? Go ahead and type it in there. Remind me what you're talking about. But I want Selena. I thought about putting BK on the list, but then this is how we're going to start ruling people out. BK would have had to have been there and known them before Summer got gone. Can you show me or tell me how he knew them before? And I mean, do you know for a fact that he was up there before she got gone?
I don't think he knew them before Summer got gone. I think he was, had kind of inserted himself in that case before with the little boy and with that woman. I'm not even going to say their names or anything, but I honestly think that another creator, she kind of led him, to donwells. And I think how him and Don knew, they didn't know each other, but they knew of a jail that they were both in together. So
Right.
that they had that in common. And, I think with what all they were into, that they just kind of became buddies.
Right. Okay, we have Deborah. She says, what about Del Terry and Shannon? Once again, they are YouTubers, guys. Did they know them before Summer went missing? If they did not know them before Summer went missing and they were not up on that hill, and you have to show me that they were up there, then we can rule them out. And I know, no, this is not the law enforcement, but this is us trying to take some, I don't know how to explain it. We can rule them out and ease our minds and say, okay, that person's out of here. So we can rule them out.
Right.
And we can narrow down the people that might actually have been involved.
Well, I think that Crystal Spencer?
Yeah.
I think that, I think she was pretty much honest because she admitted to sleeping with Don once, and if she admitted to doing it once and she did it more than once, then, that's kind of irrelevant. But, when she talked about going up there and what she's seen the kids doing, I do tend to believe her on that.
Right.
So I don't, I that's just personally, I don't think that, she had anything to do with Summer missing.
Shorty, I did have a thought on that, but I'd have to go back and read that again. And because I'm not trying to be, I just have that 5,000 things going through my mind at one time. I'd have to refresh my memory. BK's brother lives in Tennessee. Okay.
Father, there are Lindsays in Tennessee.
Right, guys, but that would not make him guilty of doing it. I mean, even if he has a family that lives here, even if there's Lindsays that live here, I'm serious. Like David, okay, first of all, does anybody know of any of these people who have alibis, actually have alibis? Like Andrew Bernard told Don B that he is on camera at his place of work all day until like 5 or 5:30. So he actually has an alibi. But as far as I know, nobody else does.
Yeah, what about is it David Dodson?
Right.
Because I mean, if you look at David Dodson, who supposedly didn't know them and had only seen Summer at church a couple times, and then all of a sudden, I could never quite get how they knew to call him, for Candace to call him to contact Robin.
Okay, well, I don't know, but according to David Dodson's daughter, he and her both were sitting at some restaurant somewhere. They were eating pizza when Summer got gone. So,
But yet he was out. He was out there when Robin got there.
well, when they got through eating their pizza and they were getting ready to leave, I believe is what she said. That's when he received the call from Candace stating that she could not get a hold of Robin, and she was trying to get a hold of Robin because the baby was missing.
What's up with everybody and pizza?
I don't know unless you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, because I mean, Robin talked about sending David out there to take pizzas out there to him all the time.
Yep.
Uh.
Well, Christola, quit kicking yourself out of chat, hon.
Hi, Christola. Hi, Corey. I seen Corey ask if that was remain calm.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, and I did mean to answer that a minute ago. I even turned off the little banner across the bottom because I seen that question. This is Remain Calm. It's her, and she also goes by Mary. BK put himself into the mountains at that time, but has said 2 different places. So he says that he's up here. He was up here on the 15th.
What he says is that he was, I believe, in Colorado in the mountains, but it showed him being in, it showed Tennessee.
Right.
So, but he swears that that wasn't where he was. He's saying, I believe he said he was in Colorado.
Right. Well, I'm sort of with McBro. I don't believe any YouTuber that was a YouTuber prior to her getting gone is involved in this.
No, I don't think so either.
So if in my book, all YouTubers that were YouTubers prior to her getting gone is off limits. I mean, not off limits, but
the only one that I kind of had questions about, and it's probably irrelevant questions, is Chase.
Right. Well, except I said it. See, he only had his 11 days before she got gone, though. That's when he supposedly started his channel. Was 11 days before she got gone.
Which is kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way. Hello, Lips. I seen you. Everybody else that I've not spoke directly to, hello, welcome.
Hi, Flies on Coastlaw.
I'm glad you guys are here.
Hi, Lips.
Okay, we cannot rule out Dawn Wells or Candace or Grandis. Let me see. Where's that list at? Okay, Candace was David Dodson. He supposedly was eating pizza. Robin Lane. She was supposedly at the dance recital?
Yeah, she was at her daughter's dance recital.
Okay, Jackie Dobbs. Does anybody know where Jackie Dobbs was? I don't think he was involved, people. Do not get me wrong.
Don't either. I don't think he was involved, and I think that he was out of the picture by then because Jody and Andy ran him off.
Right. Okay. Billy Dishner. And then for people who don't know who Billy Dishner is, he's the one that Allie and them were talking about. Every time he would get drunk and his old lady and him would get into it, he would go up there and stay in one of the sheds on the property.
Yeah, because they said he had the hots for grandma.
Right. Has anybody heard anything about where he may have been when that baby went missing?
I haven't heard anything besides that about him.
Andy Paul is in there, Lips. It's running across the bottom of the screen, hun, as all the names. Okay, so, huh?
I think the bad thing about it was that Candace and Dawn especially had their stories. Whether Dawn made up some of the story or not, You can tell it was scripted. You could tell that they were repeating the same things over and over, and they wasn't varying far from the original stories that they had.
Right. Okay, so we're on up to Fred Hill. Does anybody have a clue about Fred Hill? What Andrew are you talking about? Hey, Andrew, how are you today? Hey, Mary, do you mind if Andrew pops up here for just a minute?
I don't mind at all. You want me to drop down or what?
Oh, no, you don't have to. Andrew, you want to pop up here? I just got a quick question, hun. You told me if I had any questions that I could ask. I dropped the link for you, Andrew. It's just people that have been named at some point or another throughout the whole case as people of interest. And that's what we're doing, is going through and getting rid of names so that we can narrow down all the crap.
Yeah, Andrew, come on up and talk to her. I won't say anything. I don't really have any questions for you.
You're good and you can't do panels? Well, I dropped the link for you.
I mean, to be honest with you, Andrew has answered a lot of questions over and over and over and over.
Oh, I know.
And I can see where he gets frustrated with people, you know, when he answers a question and he's answered it 50 times and they still asking the same question, thinking they're going to get a different answer. And a lot of times they get the same answer over and over.
Right. Okay, well, Andrew, it's in there if you want to pop up, hun. And all I was going to ask you was, do you really have a gag order on you to keep you from saying anything to anybody? That's all I was going to ask, because that's what is going around. It's the latest news on you. You fixing it? What are you cooking?
He's always cooking and eating. Just keep an eye on him.
Okay, what about Fred then?
You know, I really don't have a lot to say about Fred. I mean, there's quite a few lights that I would like to ask some questions to, but I don't really think Fred's one of them.
Read your statements. I know you got a question for him. How the fuck are you, Andrew? I guess is what she's asking. Read your statement about Fred.
Got a statement about Fred?
Yeah, is this it? He left out. Oh, wait a minute. We got to go on up, I guess. Nope, I guess. Is this it, Lips? I think scrap it, but went and cleaned up some trash instead, he said. He left out with a scrappable car, but didn't. Huh. Well, at least he says he went somewhere and he wasn't there. That don't make sense, though. That's not a good enough excuse for me. So we're keeping Fred on the list. That I was just starting. Fred left.
Who was it that seen? Remember the wasn't there like a? Oh, what am I trying to think of? The mechanic place where they worked on the cars and supposedly somebody showed up out there and they thought they buried a dog out there.
Oh, the scrap. I remember something about supposedly they buried a dog out there. Yes. Well, thank you, Andrew. He says I can't talk about H or Allie and homemade mac and cheese. Kathy wants to know how your kitties and the little ones are doing, Andrew. Oh, you answered her. They're great. Hello, vet girl. I didn't see you come in, hon. Let's see. Okay, what about, so we're keeping Fred on the list. You have the info about the dog at the chop shop. That's what you were trying to think of, Mary.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, yeah.
Frank Light. Anybody got any information on Frank Light?
You know, I don't understand why Jodie Sue was so protective of him. You know, they just had a relationship going there that I just don't think a lot of people are seeing it.
I'm keeping him on there, Kathy. I'm keeping him on the list.
Because, you know, and this is what got me too, because, you know, Don, his big thing was, I always worked. And then Andy comes on a panel and he says, I worked, all I did was worked. Okay, yeah. Well, if these two guys are working, what's Jodie Sue and Candace doing?
I don't know.
I mean, how you see what I'm saying? How much stuff behind their back was Jodie Sue and Candace into, which I'm sure was quite a bit.
Okay. Lip says he was cleaning a fence at the church line, or church of prayer. Oh, wow. Thank you, Jazz King. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see, Lips. Isn't that when a diver went back to check that pond and he went off on him? He went off on the guy?
Hang on a minute, Discovering Truth, and I'll tell you. Vet Girl says, in my opinion, stick with the last people who saw S and or where on the property. 614, 615, just to keep it simple. Well, yeah, but we've stuck with the last people that saw her for a year and a month, honey, and it's not gotten us anywhere. I mean, we can, you know, run the pitchforks till from daylight till dark after them, but if we can't come up with anything plausible, it's not going to do us any good.
Well, the sad thing about it, Don and Candace ain't going to talk. Candace has said before that she will never say anything against Don because he's the father of her kids.
Hello, Cold Cases, Crystal. We're glad that you're safe and sound, hon. Discovering Truth says, why is only Don Sharpie Jr. on there? Senior should be on the list. Also, considering his girlfriend's family were feuding with the Wells over the property, supposedly. Yes, but supposedly Don Sharpie Sr. was gone on a long haul the day that Summer went missing, and he only comes in on the weekends, and it was a Tuesday. So more than likely, unfortunately, he's probably telling the truth.
And he tried to say that Junior also wasn't in that area at all.
Right. I know he lied. I'm not saying that he's not lying.
Because, I mean, I'm just wondering, didn't they put an ankle bracelet on him because he was up for those charges? I thought he was just waiting to go to court.
I'm assuming he was waiting to go to court, and they're also keeping tabs on him. Roger, it's not that he can't talk about homemade mac and cheese. He is not allowed to speak about his son or his son's mother. And he's making homemade mac and cheese for dinner because I asked him 2 questions in one. Sorry about that. Lots of bad peeps around 110 Ben Hill. Absolutely. What?
Well, the thing about the drug dealers, I think it's Mama Bergie. Don's drug dealers a lot of them were in Knoxville.
Right.
And, you know, and this is just my opinion. I think Don was one of the drug dealers for the people in Beach Creek. I think that's where they got a lot of their stuff. I think he brought it back from Knoxville. So I
Thank
think
you. Thank you, Kathy. I thought you already were, but that's okay. Welcome anyways, darling. And Corey says you got your wings. What? What, Mary?
I said, hi, Dana Kay. Little David, hi. I'm seeing my chat now. Can you tell? Or did you think I was psychic?
Yeah, I did. Why are you telling that girl to shush lips? Did you see the live my live yesterday? I think that girl was in here yesterday. Oh, you're talking about your own. Okay. I consider people from Ben Hill that could have been the Wells drug dealers. Guys, I understand where y'all are saying this from, but come on, really, how many drug dealers do you guys know? I mean, seriously, because all the drug dealers I've ever known in my life, they have no use for little screaming kids.
No, they don't. And, like I was saying, yeah, I'm sure there were a lot of, meth and a lot of that stuff on the hill and stuff. But I mean, like crack and stuff like that, I honestly think that Don was the one bringing that stuff in from Knoxville.
Right. Have you all thought about it may not be any of these people? It could be somebody from the past with the fair, or who knows. They know people that we have never heard of. Yes, I agree, Deborah. And that's the whole reason we're doing this, is trying to rule out most of these people. I mean, or at least get them off our list. We know we can't get them off the official LE list.
Well, and the sad thing about it is, too, with Dawn gone to Utah, you don't know who Candace brought up there. And I mean, it was very obvious, and you could tell even with BK, that anybody who showed Candace a little bit of attention, it was love. And
Right.
I just have a feeling that she had many people up on that hill that even Dawn didn't know about.
Yes, ladies, I hear you, Mary. Ladies, let's stop the little games in the chat here. You are confusing me. I'm like, geez, don't be telling each other shush. Okay, so Frank. We're past Frank then, and we're past Jodie. See, we ain't taking Jodie Sue off that list. Andrew Bernard supposedly was on camera at his workplace all day. Everybody agree?
That's what they say. I kind of believe him being at work more than I believe Don being at work all day.
Right.
Because there were cameras where Andy was, and there weren't cameras where Don was supposed to be working. That's just word of mouth saying he was there all day.
Right. Hello, Carrie. Go ahead. Sorry, Mary.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I really have a feeling that Chase is involved, and that's why Summer was dancing in front of it while his vehicle was there. Also, Chase and Paw Patrol mentioned a lot. Feel like Robin is involved also.
I kind of agree with that statement.
Right.
Because that whole thing was, I mean, it's sad, but a lot of those people who inserted themselves, it was more about money.
Right.
And making money and seeing what they could take, from whoever would give it. And that was always sad to me, that,
right.
That people were taken advantage of, that, shouldn't have been taken advantage of.
Andrew, that's right. It's not that I think that you're guilty. As a matter of fact, if you'll go back and listen to most of my videos, you'll see that I've took up for you 90% of the time. You are on the list simply because your name has been mentioned throughout this whole case because of the 2020 trip. Come on, you got to know the 2020 trip is one of the famous stories in this case. And if you'll notice at the end of this list, it says all of Hawkins County is on this list. I just couldn't name them all.
Yeah.
So don't be too offended, I promise.
Yeah, we know Andrew wasn't there.
Yeah. It's just people's names that have been brought up throughout the case.
Well, that's the thing with JSB. I sent her a message and told her that she should have kept her DV and Summer separate, and I think she probably better, but she didn't want to do that.
Right.
So, and it's her fault if people come after her. It's her fault people were coming after her son. She's the one who put him out there. Nobody had her put him out there like she did.
Right.
So she can't blame anybody for that.
Right. I understand that Andy B still bears responsibility if allegedly it's true that he sold drugs to CW for the doing whatever to the kids. I agree with that 100%. I'm just trying to rule out people that could have been on that hill in that between 12 o'clock that day and 6:30 that evening. Earlier I was saying 4 o'clock and 6:30, but come on, we got to.
Well, and that's the thing that I always said too. I know that they had the searchers and everything, figured she wandered off, but that little girl was barefoot. It got dark a couple hours later. How far in the dark could she have gotten in the woods?
Mary, I've got to ask this, and please don't take any offense to it, but you have said this since I've known you, since I've started talking to you, and you keep relating the fact that she's barefoot and it's dark. Honey, did you not ever run barefoot when you were little?
In the dark in the woods?
Yeah, well, if you can go barefoot in the daylight.
No, I ran barefoot all the time. Being barefoot doesn't really have a lot to do with it, but this is what I'm saying. How far could she have gotten in the pitch black in the woods on her own?
That makes more sense to me, but saying that she's walking through the woods barefoot, she couldn't do that. I didn't understand that.
No, I always say barefoot because even in the dark in the woods by itself, but especially being barefoot in the dark in the woods.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Don Sherfy Sr.'s alibi has a hole in it. How so, Suzette? And understand, people, I'm not questioning your statements. I'm just asking. I'm asking for information.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everything's open for discussion.
Lord, this chat, I can't keep up with the chat.
I'm trying to help. I'm just not used to it. I mean, yeah, when I was younger, yeah, I could run through all kinds of rocks and everything barefooted.
Right.
So her running around barefooted, I mean, heck, that didn't surprise me any at all. It's just that, the time frame that they're saying she went missing, it was a couple hours, and then it was dark outside.
Yeah, well, in the summertime, it gets dark around 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Right.
And she went. They officially said she was missing at 7 o'clock. And as far as the campsite that was up there, that campsite does not make sense. And in my opinion, okay, just my opinion, which don't count for much, but that campsite don't count because they would have, they were up there searching that whole area for what, 2 weeks, Mary? Wasn't it 2 weeks?
Yeah, but
Solid.
the campsite they're talking about is the one that Cam found, right?
Right, but it's just right up, literally right up Ben Hill Road. It's not, maybe 300 yards or so from the house.
Well, and that's what got me too, because, there was so many people saying, well, they didn't search my property and, we would have let them or whatever. And I'm like, well, that's confusing because, and then Lawson kept telling them to search their own property over and over.
Right. Woolston says, I believe it was Daryl Coggins in that campsite. And for people who don't know who Daryl Coggins is now, that's the newest name that we have attached to Green Eyes.
Now, Green Eyes, isn't he the one who said something about him and Dawn fighting? Didn't you do a video on that?
Yeah. Helicopter was there around 7:30 with infrared. And they would have picked up if there was anybody up there with a fire burning or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Hello, Don B.
The people that they had, the searchers, everybody, they were all professional people. So
Right.
It wasn't like a bunch of people just out looking for her. These people knew exactly what they were doing.
So that's what I'm saying, though. There wouldn't have been anybody up there building a campfire, holding her hostage at the little campfire not that far from the house, because for 2 weeks there was people up there constantly searching.
Exactly.
They would have run across somebody.
Yep, they would have seen it.
Okay, grab your notebook. I agree. Campsite is odd, not trampled on, should be investigated, in my opinion, too close to the Wells home. Right. It is. I truly believe it was arranged for Dawn's son and Daryl to take Summer. She would have willingly went with them. Now, there's something that is plausible. And if I remember right, there was question about Donald III being there sometime around the time she went gone, because they were accusing him at first of doing it. How far could she have gotten between 6 and 7:30? A 5-year-old barefooted and close to dark? No, maybe a mile, if that.
Yeah, well, I think it's a small child can go like I want to say like 1.75 miles an hour, but that's in the daylight.
Daryl was a tree worker. Candace said on TV that a tree worker could have taken her. And probably so if she set it up.
Yeah, that would be the only way, I think, one of those, because the tree workers, they would park at one spot and then they would all ride together up to where they were working. So if it was one of them, it would have had to been a straggler who,
Yeah.
parked to get his ride up there.
Christola says, Don B, well, that depends, honestly. I mean, she does have a few that age, so she would know. It didn't get dark until 9 on June 15th. Well, that's what I said, 8:30 or 9.
Yeah, so that was, if they started looking at 7, that's a couple hours. And honestly, do you think if she was out there and she knew that she was being looked for, that she would have kept going?
Exactly. No, I think
that she would have stopped and let somebody know where she was.
Right. Well,
if she was scared, because if they taught her to be scared of all this wildlife, I for some reason just don't see her going into the woods and wandering off.
Amanda, somebody the other day said it was Hills Tree Service. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they said it was Hills Tree Service that was up there.
Yeah, discovering the truth. And we really don't know if Summer may have had some ADHD or something. And I also heard that children with ADHD, when they wander off, if there's like a pond or water nearby, that some of them head towards that water.
Right. That's horrible, but it's true.
Who else we got on the list?
Okay, I'm going to it right now. I was just thinking of that. Okay, we have Damien Bernard. Does anybody have a clue about Damien, where he was at? He was with his mom. He was with his mom.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question, and maybe you can answer this for me. Why weren't him and his sister helping look for Summer?
Well, maybe Jody C didn't go up there and tell him.
I just thought that was weird.
Well, and therefore I'm going to leave it on there. Hunter, we have to leave on there. Allie, we have to leave on there. Marlena, we don't have a clue about that crazy witch.
I heard she was not doing real good.
Was Crystal Spencer was missing there for a while. Does anybody know if she was missing at the time?
Well, isn't she the one her mom said some pretty outrageous stuff about?
Her mom said no. I couldn't imagine her mom saying anything about her. Not anything bad. I mean, I've talked to her several times, and she has never said anything bad about her. She wouldn't even admit to the fact that was who Dawn was having the affair with.
Oh, I thought somebody had said something about she had a meth problem and
others. Crystal does. I mean, I don't know if her mom may have, said that she used to. I'm just saying right now, her mom will not say anything bad about her. She shouldn't have got mixed up with David Britt, and that's about it.
Well, I'm not talking about Crystal in a bad way or anything, or even saying she has anything to do with it. But, we keep saying that, maybe somebody had a drug debt and they used Summer to pay it off or whatever. That could have been anybody.
What?
That could have been anybody.
Right, but then again, like I said before, and there's a few people agreed with it. I think you did. There is no drug dealer going to want a kid. I mean, what? Especially anybody in that area. Trafficked her, yes, maybe, because it would have gotten her away from there. But just a regular drug dealer, they're not going to want to bring the law down on them.
They're not going to want to tow the kid around with them.
Or the attention that it's going to bring. I mean,
and that possibility still open. That one thing that I always said too, because Dawn wanted to take the family to Utah, and Candace didn't want to go.
Right.
And I kind of thought there would be a conflict there, because there's no way that Dawn wouldn't have not taken Summer with him. I mean, but then again, he left for how many months and left Summer there?
Right. See, that don't make any sense to me either.
Yeah, because he cared about Summer so much, his problem. But then he turned around and just left her there with
no number.
Candace.
Right. Sorry. Chris Marcos is Grandis's third cousin, or it's her nephew or something. I know he was allegedly up there when she got gone, and people were thinking that that was Grandis's lover or whatever, but come to find out it was her cousin. And supposedly he's back out in Utah or Wisconsin or somewhere.
Well, I didn't understand that either, because when he was first mentioned and stuff, I mean, it took a little while for people to say that, yes, he was definitely there and that it was Grandma's nephew, right?
Right.
Now, I've got a question too. Didn't Grandma's brother when did Grandma's brother get out of prison?
About 4 or 5 months after Summer disappeared.
After Summer.
Yes.
Okay.
It says, what about the other Jose? Does he need to be on the list? I don't know. I haven't researched him enough to know. I don't know of another Jose. There was only one Jose Roman that I knew of that was involved.
One Jose too. I know that it was kind of conflicting because there is another Jose Roman
that people were getting mixed up thinking that was
getting mixed up with
right
with the regular Jose.
Let's see. Since I'm a nurse, I asked a nurse friend about if I could call and ask if someone was dead, if I was not related, and she said yes. Well, has anybody, not to get off subject, but did anybody watch Harsh Reality's video today? Where he located the funeral home or the mortuary that supposedly took care of Jose's body. But the problem... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Chasing Truth, she called the morgue a long time ago.
I'm not talking about Chasing Truth or her calling the morgue. We're talking about the mortuary that supposedly handled the body and did the cremation. Strange thing about it is if you look at most mortuary, I can't say it now, or funeral homes or any of those things online, you'll see they have hundreds or at least thousands of people that follow them, that have commented, blah, 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 right? Well, the strange thing about this mortuary is it only has 91 people following it, and I think it had 4 comments. And it's been open since the beginning of either 2020 or 2021.
Really?
And yeah, and when the guy that runs it or that owns it looks like he's, Pimp Daddy from Hollywood, should have gold chains hanging down. I mean, he's got a car behind him in his profile picture. Come on. And the Department of Treasure person, it's just like your profile thing is right now. And it has their name and that's it. Nothing else about them. It's the most generic website for a mortuary there is.
Wow.
And like I said, they just started the business just a couple of years ago, supposedly.
Well, see, because supposedly when he first died and supposedly the family set up a GoFundMe on Facebook or something, and then I heard they didn't have enough money to get the body. I mean, that was all just craziness.
No victims in the... Oh, okay, good. I don't know why I was thinking that was saying SHITING. Sorry. That's good. I'm glad there's no victims in that at the American. Was it the American Mall? Mary, do you remember?
Mall of America.
Yeah, Mall of America. Yes.
That's happening more and more and more.
Maybe Candace was afraid of someone in Utah and wouldn't move there.
I think Candace, I don't know if she was afraid of anybody in Utah, but I think that Dawn said a lot of negative things to his family about Candace, and I don't think she really wanted to be involved with that,
Right. Do we know Jose's age? I think he was like early 50s, hun. I'm almost positive he was in his early 50s. Never been able to find.
But I didn't think Jose was that hot for Grandma and Candace and Allie. They, They must not have too many men around because they all wanted the same one.
He's a friend of mine too. I love that man. Oh, wait, it's not a man. It's not a man.
I can't do that, Jose, now. I'll be getting a little cray-cray.
Yeah. The tequila made her clothes fall off. Kind of crazy. Those are the kinds of funeral homes that usually get busted for having a bunch of decomposing bodies laying around, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, Jose, no. What are you talking about, Cristola? Don't be saying that now. We don't talk about our buddy Jose, do we, Mary?
Nope. No, we don't. Well, the thing about the Hawkins County, I can't read her name or his name.
Oh, Woolston.
The bad thing about that is, not only Hawkins County, but almost any county that you go to, you're going to have the bad law enforcement officers. A lot of it's just not told to the public. And because Hawkins County with summer missing, is so relevant to everybody now, everything that happens there, is in the spotlight. So a lot of the other people, a lot of the other places just don't, have that brought out as much.
Yeah, right. Melissa, hang on 1 second to your statement, sweetheart. Don't go nowhere with it. McRose says, does that seem odd that her kids over 13 years old, why not helping? That is why I left Damien on theirs, because I had not thought of that. So I'm glad Mary brought that up.
Yeah, that was just weird to me that, the boys were down there looking, and look how young they were. But her two kids wasn't down there looking at all.
Right. Don B dropped a cryptic statement. Yes, I believe he did too. Oh, and since how I've got 100, nearly 50 people in here, I would like to make an announcement, guys, okay? Please understand this. For all you folks who honestly thought I'm dim-witted in my head, Don B is the one that told me to make the video about what did he mean when he said take it with a grain of salt. I literally do know what that saying means. I promise you guys I do. I was actually looking for you guys to come up with theories of why he said that. Not what it actually meant. Maybe I worded it wrong, but I was meaning for you to come up with theories of why he said that. What could have happened instead of that?
Well, Nana, you know that we just got to make sure that you know.
I know. And like I said, I thank each and every one of you who think I'm dim-witted, but I'm really not. Dog, you better shut up. I got a dog over here just whining like crazy. But I just wanted everybody to know, I promise you guys, I'm not that dim-witted. Hello, Genevieve.
Dana K, you're absolutely right. There was a law enforcement off-duty police officer vehicle seen in the area.
Yes. And Mary is the one to ask about that one. She's been trying to get me to watch that entire video, and I haven't gotten it done yet.
I showed that to you 2 months ago.
No, it ain't been 2 months ago, but you have. It's been a while, and I'm still working on trying to get it finished. I don't know, something about that dude's voice is just drones in my head for some reason.
Yeah, he would know. I mean, he would legitimately know something like that. That's the only reason it kind of piqued my interest, because of who he is.
And Andrew, if you're listening, by the way, that was one of the first things I took up for your ice on, is that man right there she's talking about. Because any good parent, good, bad, or anything, any parent that loves their kids finds out their kid's involved in some not hilarious, that wasn't what I meant, horrific thing like what your son was involved in when this all began, my first reaction would be to get my son away from that.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew did exactly what I would have done. Exactly what I would have done.
Okay. Do we leave David Britt and Robert Britt on the list, Mary?
I don't know. What do you think?
They have one family member already missing, has been missing for 8 years, that disappeared without a trace.
I mean,
Robert's daughter.
It amazes me that these families have other missing people.
Yep. Okay, so we move on to Breonna Tester. I truly believe that she was doing everything she could to save that baby because the mother was unfit. And she took a lot of crap for doing that. So I'm taking her off the list.
I agree with you on that.
Andrew, are you in here? Well, if you're in here, tell me, were you in New York on the 15th? Mary, you think Andrew was in New York on the 15th?
Yeah. I think so.
So, Andrew, you're no longer on this list.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Andrew was definitely in New York on the 15th. He had already been gone from Tennessee long before the 15th.
There has been an actual count of children reported missing from that area within the last 8 years. Do you happen to have that number, Genevieve, by chance? Mary, was it not said that it rumored that Grandis may have called the cop and told him she's in the shed when Candace left the hill?
I hadn't heard that.
Oh, I hadn't either.
I mean, that could be very true because for some reason they're not releasing the 911 calls.
Are we talking about the shed down off the hill where Dawn went to?
Yeah, the shed at the bottom of the hill. And that's the thing too. I mean, would you wouldn't you have went straight up to the top of the hill to find out what was going on and not went to a shed first?
Yes, I would have.
Because he didn't even stop and talk to the boys. He went straight to the shed.
As far as somebody said something about Jody Sue's kids not being, I think it was Corey, about Jody Sue's kids not being allowed to go look. We're not talking about after the cops got there. We're talking about when everybody else was looking, when the boys were looking, when Jody Sue was looking, when Blue Roof Dawn was looking.
And see, I'm kind of thrown off too because at one time Candace stated that she actually seen Jody Sue like around 4:30.
Right, when she was driving off the hill. Yeah.
Right.
That's when Jody Sue supposedly saw Dawn and Candace talking on FaceTime.
That was at 6:09, she said.
It was supposed to have been around 4:30 when she was driving off the hill.
See, that's where I think they're getting she left the hill twice.
Right. I couldn't give you the name for this acronym, but this is the acronym for whoever it was that was asking who has the information. I had not heard that, Dana Kay. Thank you for telling me.
Flies on the coast wall. I thought Jody Sue said that they finally let them leave the hill that night to get something to eat.
Right. That's what I heard.
For quite a few days that they had to live on the hill and show their ID to even get back on the hill. It is from my understanding. I could be wrong,
but the point being is, why did they allow her to even leave the hill that night? Because, I mean, Lord knows, God forbid, she actually had that baby in the trunk of her car or something. Wait a minute. I thought Jodie Sue didn't drive.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about that. Because if you remember right, well, I know after Summer went missing, supposedly Don drove her around, didn't he?
Right.
But that night she made a live while she was in the drive-thru getting everybody something to eat. Because she said they finally let them leave to go get something to eat. She did a
Happy,
live on it.
Happy says Andy was driving.
When she did the live that night?
Yeah. McBro, I feel the same way. That's the only thing that's diverting me towards him at all is the fact that he's running off to the military.
Let me tell you, they find out in the military, it ever comes out that he had anything to do with this, he'd probably wish that Hawkins County got him before the military gets him.
I agree, Genevieve. She drives. People are crazy trying to sort this mess out. We are. We are crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at everything that JSB has said and done. It's like she's playing this little game that is just unbelievable.
Did we ever figure out if Jose Roman was up there staying with Grandis? Supposedly he just got out of jail. Who was it that said that? He had just gotten out of jail and was staying up there.
Dudley said that Don told that Jose was in jail and Jose got it, and that they had Jose's drugs at the house. And
yeah.
You know, Jose flipped out on Don over it. Is what Dudley said.
Right. So more than likely Jose was not up on the hill.
Yeah, because I mean there was never any proof found that Jose was ever in a jail around there.
No, honey. Amanda, honey, I'm sorry to say, but there's too many videos and recordings of Don saying he went straight to the shed.
Yeah, he even made a video of himself on exactly where he went, and he drove right to that shed.
And he says he don't remember if he got out and opened the door and looked in the shed or not. Now, if you're looking for your missing child and you drive to a shed because that's where you think to look first, you couldn't remember whether you got out and actually looked in the shed or not. That sounds a little weird to me, but yes, he did say it.
And also, if you're on top of a hill like that and your child goes missing, even in town, if my granddaughter went missing right now, I would be running all over the place. I would not be standing on top of a hill screaming her name.
Right. Which one? Thank you. Are you talking? No, evidently I didn't see which ones you're talking about. Don B, if you're listening, send that darn cryptic message to my phone.
Yeah, Happy, I agree with you. I think Don just had a hard on for Dudley, and I think it was back and forth. They both just were going at each other. I don't think Don liked to be shown up at his job. And, you know, I think Dudley was a threat at his job and Don didn't like that. So, and I'm sorry, but Don Wells is not going to tell me that he had to look on YouTube to figure out what a meth head was all about because he already knew his wife was one. Did that make sense?
Yes. Sorry, I'm texting him. I want to know what they're talking about. So I know what I originally read, but Tiger says the shed is a decent drive going past his driveway as well. So, and he also said in another one, he had to introduce himself to the officer at the bottom of his driveway as the father. Cop would have seen.
Yeah, because Don kept saying he couldn't remember if there was any cops there or
Oh,
not when he got there.
hang on. I got it. I'm looking. Go ahead, Mary. Keep talking real quick.
But yeah, um, I mean, it was just ridiculous how I don't understand how him and Candace FaceTimed the whole time that it took for him to get home when he says that's never happened before.
Um,
So
Mary, keep it going because I'm calling him. I want to know what this says or what want to know what this means. Hang on a minute. I'm mute. You keep talking.
yeah, Happy, you're exactly right. Don needed Dudley to be gone on the 15th. And flies on the coastwall, you're absolutely right there. You know, Don and Candace both acted like that they were victims, and you know, they had people paying thousands of dollars for them to get their house done, to get their boys back, and people putting in the time and effort for them. And, you know, they did not appreciate what anybody was doing for them because they didn't care if they got their boys back or not. That was very obvious, especially Candace.
He's
You know,
not answering, guys.
I'm sure Don being in jail, he, of course, you know, when you're in jail, you have a change of heart about everything. And so I'm sure that he wants his boys back now, but maybe they should have took care of their kids to start with. Lana, Lee, nobody's saying Don killed Summer.
Chris, Mary, you can't say that.
Oh, sorry. Nobody
Chris,
said Don did anything like that.
Christella, can
So
you take care of that message?
we don't want to put that out there that, you know, we can't say that.
Sorry, Mary, I wasn't being short with you. I was just.
No, you have to tell me. This is the first time I've done this with you, so if you don't tell me, girl, I don't know.
Mm,
But you know, as far as Dudley, like I said, I think Dudley and Dawn just had a thing for each other. You know,
yeah. Happy, yes, please turn on your scanner. And if you hear anything, please let me know. Anybody that has scanners, please turn your scanners on because he's not answering his phone. That don't necessarily mean anything, but.
and you know, it kind of threw me off too because if you remember, you know, Hunter said, "Well, Candace said the boys were at work with Dawn," and no, you know, Dawn says no. And I believe the people, I don't think anybody's ever talked to Don's boss or the people who were actually working around him that day to know who was with him or not with him. I don't think anybody's even verified that except for what Don and Candace have said.
My opinion on Dudley is the simple fact is he was right there with Don Wells smoking it up with them kids.
Yep.
They were all in on it together. What more than likely, allegedly, what Don stole from the company, Ajan was right there, had a hand in it also.
I believe so too, because why would you put 50 buckets of mud in your vehicle and take it to a storage unit just because Don asked you to? You know,
No one in, no one out, remember? Right.
yeah, see, and that's what got me too. If I had kids their age, especially boys, and I left them at home locked in, they couldn't come in or out for 6 or more hours. Do you really think that when she got home that them boys stayed in the house?
Right. No, I don't.
I do know boys love playing their games and stuff, but it was a nice day that day.
What about the mud in the storage unit? It was mud, drywall mud that they stole from the job site.
Now, I did hear about young Andy being in the pool with Summer, but I didn't know it was the day before.
It was, I thought it was on the 13th.
I hadn't heard it was like the day before, but I did hear that because the pool wasn't there. I kind of wonder when they got rid of the pool.
Right. What's going on, Christola?
Yeah, Lana, I agree with you. I think that they have spent a lot more time talking to Don Wells than what they're letting on. Now, I I don't know as far as talking to Ronnie Lawson. Maybe he's not really communicating with Ronnie Lawson, but I think as far as the TBI, I think they've probably been talking.
You cut out, Mary. And the game system was in the cellar for CM's house tour. How could boys be playing in upstairs at the table June 15th? Jose was from Puerto Rico. Yeah, Susan, I heard he was selling drywall tools too.
Yeah, he was probably selling a lot of stuff. I always crack up at the fact that he said that he went and bought $2,000 worth of stuff with the TBI following him, and that they called him in and said, "Don't do that again, Don." I'm like, whatever.
Right, if he went and bought $2,000 worth of product and
It,
TBI was following him, the people he was buying the product from would shoot him.
Not only that, but he said he was giving it away. So that would mean the TBI sat there and watched him giving that stuff. I just don't see that. That was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard him say.
He did work 20 years in the business, and he learned the business from his mother.
Yep, she wrote a book about it. Which is kind of weird, a woman writing a book about drywall, but
Genevieve, no, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything about those buckets being located and opened up. I also haven't heard anything about the buckets that supposedly his mom buried under the ground with what, seasonings or something in it that she was keeping for doomsday. Why wouldn't the cops ever dig those buckets up?
I ain't never heard that.
Yeah, there was like 10 or something buckets, 5-gallon buckets that she buried a bunch of stuff in for, like seasonings and stuff for doomsday. And Candace and them wouldn't let nobody dig them up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Kristen, you're right. This is one missing child case that is just beyond any missing child case I've ever seen.
We got your cogs turning. Well, sweetheart, if anybody's cogs need to be turned, yours might do us some good.
Yeah, Corey, I was telling my stepmother about this case one day, and she said, "Are you talking about a movie?" And I said, "No, I'm talking about a real life missing child."
Well, tell me what y'all think about him getting to get out of jail and not having to even go to that rehab.
Yeah, that I don't understand that, because I thought that was the agreement, that if he got out of jail early, that he had to go directly to a rehab.
Somebody told me in the comments today that supposedly they gave him a deal yesterday, day before yesterday, whenever it was. He could either take the rehab time or he could spend the rest of the time in jail, and he took jail.
Well, I mean, and I haven't been following his half sisters or anything, And I know the statute of limitations may be up for them, but I thought there was at least two women who came forward that they were definitely looking at charging him for those two.
There's 7 of them in Utah.
Right, but I thought that there was only like 2 that they could actually use to.
There was 2. There was 2 that was really, really bad that they could use as basically as examples, saying, okay, look, this is what he did to these 2. Imagine, you can imagine what he did to the other women. But these were 2 really good cases that they wanted to use them to put before the judge and the jury, if it goes that far.
And Vibes, I agree with you. I not necessarily Don, but I think that Tim Mullins has his eyes set on Netflix and whatever he can do to make money off of this.
Don wanted it on Netflix. I don't doubt that.
I honestly believe that, Tim Mullins, I believe that they all wanted this to go a lot further. And, I know that there are times when people go to court and the judge will place an order where no one can write books or movies or anything on a case.
Right.
So hopefully that will be the outcome of this one.
Whoever is responsible can't gain financially from it. Genevieve, I've got a question for you. Hopefully I don't forget it. Hang on a second. And I done forgot it, of course. Shoot, no. Nope, it's done gone. Anyways, has anybody heard anything about the Daniel Sherfy, the uncle that's supposedly involved?
No, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, there's connections, and he's a registered, from what I understand.
Well, Kristen, about Don going to rehab, the thing about it is, when him and Candace get back together, we'll see how long it takes for Don to get thrown back in jail. Because I bet it won't be long.
No, it probably won't be long. It probably he won't be thrown back in jail.
Well, if you remember right before he even went to jail, he told Candace it was over. He actually said that on an interview that he was doing with another creator, and him and Candace were in the background, and she's like, oh, well, we're doing great. And he said, no, we're not.
This is it, Mary. It says Daniel Sherfy posted on Facebook he had to get a new phone on June 16th. Something happened to his phone on the same day she went missing.
Wow. I'll have to look into that. I hadn't heard that.
You want me to go outside?
You just never know. Until Candace tells the truth. I think Don knows, but I think him and Candace know so much on each other that they're not going to tell on each other. And I honestly think Grandma just wanted to get rid of Don from the get-go.
Don's not allowed to. No, it says he's not allowed to drive for a year, but that year will be up by the time he gets out. That order was given November the 1st.
Did you notice though when he initially went to court, he got in his truck and drove home?
Exactly. With no tags, no insurance, no driver's license.
It was really strange that he got in his truck and drove home.
I give them all some truth serum.
Yeah, I would too. I would love to meet her in a restaurant or something. I'd slip her some in her drink or something just to see what she says.
Okay, so Chris Marco's probably off the list too, right? That's the nephew.
Well, They say he wasn't there, but did they specify exactly when he was living in that trailer?
No, not that I know of.
Well, Melissa, a lot of them are sickos. They're all sickos.
It'll be his release date. What do you mean? He went to court and it was ordered on November 1st. So his release date is October 30th, which is like in one day of being a year.
Yeah, Brenda, I was wondering about that too, because he was in Alaska on a crab boat. So, yeah, I was kind of curious about if it was a deadliest catch boat or not.
Right. By the way, I have told y'all for a year now, if y'all wanted to go up there, we'll go up there and have us a party. I'll get the moonshine.
Ooh, yeah, as long as I got some spring water to chase it with. I love moonshine with spring water. But, I mean, you honestly believe, okay, so they're saying Candace is clean or whatever, sobered up. Do you honestly believe that she's that her mentality's changed at all?
No.
I don't. I think she's probably going to be the same person, sober or not sober.
Well, that's just like Don Wells being in there getting clean for 6.5 months. That I stand behind my question. What kind of judge takes it upon himself to say that man is well and doesn't need rehab just because he's been clean in jail for 6 months?
Women of the people makes you a bit springy, don't it, Mary? Okay.
That's Genevieve.
I seen it, yeah. I was trying to figure out what she meant, but hey, I'll take it.
That's fine, Christola. You can tell me later, hon. Homemade alcohol can be made from pears or sugars. What are you talking about?
Yeah, homemade alcohol. Yeah, they make it in jail all the time.
Well, yeah, it can be made from
a bit of bread.
Not moonshine whiskey. You can't make moonshine whiskey from fruit. Moonshine, and there is no such thing as moonshine whiskey. There's corn liquor and there's moonshine.
Right.
Corn liquor is what you would probably be calling whiskey. It's the dark stuff. And the moonshine's made from from potatoes. And it's the clear stuff.
What are you hearing, Sunset?
There's a sound louder than Nana and her guest, which sounds like when you walk into a store. It's in the feed every time, but no one ever mentions it.
It could be because I'm outside. I'm actually sitting in a car.
But she's saying it's in here every time.
Oh.
Well, I've said for months, honey, somebody's got my computer bugged, so maybe that's what it is.
You know what? I thought that too. After, we would talk and stuff like that, I would have a trouble with my phone and I'd be like, oh Lord, who's after Nana now?
Exactly. Moonshine is lethal. It can be lethal. And if you ever get your hands on it, pour some out on a saucer or something, set it on fire. If it don't burn blue, do not drink it.
Yeah.
Okay, Sunset, that's fine. Trust me, when Holly used to come on here, honey, I could hear people. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. Scrunching ice. When somebody chews ice cubes up. Every time she would talk, that's what it was. I would hear.
Crystal, it's traffic because I'm sitting outside. It probably is traffic.
Hooch Hooch is made in jail. Then you have Wom Wom and Juju's.
Juju's.
Groceries or commodities or commensaries. Yeah.
Yep, they make it in the toilet or hide it in the wall.
Carrie hears it too, whatever it is. Green liquor will give you Jake leg.
Well,
All
Genevieve,
right.
I lived in Germany. They had green liquor there, and you didn't smell very good the next day after you drank it. I can tell you that, but it did mess you up pretty good.
Did we ever find anything on the scanner, guys?
Sandy says green death. Yeah, it definitely will tear you up.
I worked 7 years.
Yeah, flies on coleslaw. Yeah, I
Jails and
can hear when
prisons
her.
and
Yeah, I can hear when her notifications go off on her phone.
I'll turn it down, guys. Sorry about that. It's really loud. I'm sorry.
Wow, Genevieve. That's got to be a hard job to work in jails and prisons.
Scanner's quiet. Is my phone going off? Sorry about that, whoever it was spooking.
But yeah, I just, as far as JSB, she's got everybody thinking she's this, dark princess of the galaxy or whatever. I don't know. I find that a lot of it's BS. But I just always wondered why it's like she studied what to do when a child went missing. I mean, who does that?
Right.
When no child in your area has went missing since Carly Trent. And I mean, was she even in the area when that happened? You know what I'm saying? Did
She
live?
was. She was.
She did live on in Beach Creek when that happened.
That was only 4 or 5 years ago now. That was 2016.
Yeah, I just didn't know how long she'd actually lived on Beach Creek, in Beach Creek.
I'm sure they've lived up there for a while since their kids were little.
But I can tell you exactly when I knew that she was full of crap, because she kept talking about how she was scared of him and the DV and all that stuff. And then she puts out a live where she talks about they followed a picture where there were buzzards flying, and they played rock, paper, scissors to go see what it was and everything. And I thought, you don't go to a place like that with somebody who's threatened to harm your life.
The squealing on your phone, that's the noise they're talking about. It sounds like squeaky wheels.
On my phone?
Yeah, you remember the squeaking I told you about earlier, and you said you turned the volume down?
Yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit more.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. I was just saying that's what they're talking about. And proof that Jodie Sue was still living up there when that happened was, remember, she said nobody knew Candace was pregnant with Summer until they brought her home. Summer's 6 years old. This happened in 2016, so it was the same year Summer was born. The Carly Trent thing did.
Right. Well, is Carly Trent the one that Dawn was talking about? He was riding around on a motorcycle trying to help find her.
Probably.
And somebody else was on horseback or something.
Probably, because back then they asked for the whole community, the whole town to look. I mean, everybody was looking for Carly Trent. It's just recently that they said they don't want help.
Do you believe that the little girl that Dawn says was out playing by the road that he was concerned about? Do you think that his story is legit about that?
I would say what he says took place took place. I don't say that the reason he stopped was to alert the parents that she was out there by the road.
Okay.
In my
Yeah, that's
opinion, he
yeah,
could have been seeing how
that's
close he could get.
yeah, that's my opinion too, because when somebody and when somebody's done something bad to a child or something like that, and
Oh,
they get away with it,
yeah.
sometimes they try to get away with it again.
Stay Tiger has lots and lots of info on this stuff. To be somebody that lives in New York, he knows an awfully lot about Hawkins County. Um, Tiger says that was them referring to Frank Light on horseback helping look for little Evelyn Boswell.
You're absolutely right, Stay Tiger. Thank you.
And Tiger, I wouldn't mean anything bad about that. I'm just saying you're very knowledgeable. He thought his luck was in when he seen that little girl. She had very lucky escape. Yes, in my opinion, like I said, he was trying to see how close he could get, and maybe he got spooked, and then went ahead and took the child on up to the door and said, "Hey." Or maybe he was checking to make sure they would see if there was anybody home. Because if there wasn't,
Well, I was just what kind of made me kind of, sidestep what he said was because of the way the reaction was of the grandfather.
right. Happy says, be curious if that little girl looked like Summer. Was he going to pretend she was Summer in pics, anyways? Hmm, maybe.
Well, with Robin and her daughter, Robin's husband didn't know that Robin was taking her daughter up into that area. And when he found out, he was not happy
Thank you
at
for
all.
enlightening me. Tina wanted to know who it was that came from, and I could not remember. Well, guys, we got halfway through this list.
Well, I enjoyed being on your panel, Nana.
Well, I appreciate you coming up.
I thank you a lot. It really took my mind off of things.
Well, let me go through the rest of this. Just say yes or no in your opinion, Mary.
Okay.
Sonia Sessions. Do you know who that is?
No, tell me a little bit about her.
That's Dawn's blood sister. She's the rich one that was taking all kinds of trips, and
Yeah,
she
she went to
could,
Paris, didn't she?
she didn't go to Paris. She went to Italy,
Oh,
but her and her husband can't have children. They can't adopt children because her husband allegedly is an RSO. And they left about 3 or 4 days after Summer got gone and went to Italy.
yeah, and she's been very defensive over Dawn.
Right. Tim Mullins, yes or no?
No, I think he's just stupid.
Daniel Sherfy, we still don't know much about. George Andrew Bernard.
I still think that's questionable.
Polly Bernard.
No, I don't think Polly had anything to do with it.
Christopher Light.
That's questionable to me.
Jeffrey Light.
That's questionable to me.
Tony Hammonds.
Not so sure on that one.
Who he is, right?
Tell me a little bit.
He's the one that tried to grab the 12-year-old boy, 4 days after Summer got gone?
Honestly, I don't think so.
I don't
And I've
either.
got reasons, and we can go over them some other time.
I don't think he had anything in it either. Jerry
Yeah.
McClain.
Uh,
Do you know who Jerry is?
no, tell me.
He's the guy that worked with Dawn. He was one of the first ones that Dawn accused of maybe being able to one, maybe being the one that took her. And
Is he
he's
the one that
also,
died?
yes,
I don't think so. I think Don just threw him out there like that.
Brad Wisham.
That's questionable to me.
423 Chase, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel Chambers.
Which one is he?
Okay, he is Blue Roof Dawn's son that Marlena Crawford is accusing Candace of messing with while he was still a teenager.
Oh, that boy. No, I don't think so. I mean,
How about Dawn Chambers? Blue Roof Dawn.
the bad part about it is any of those young boys that Candace was messing with, they probably would have done anything she asked them to do
Right.
because she was giving them drugs and alcohol and everything else.
Don Chambers. It said Jodie Sue and him were having an affair.
Well, I better not say what I was going to say. I was going to say anybody who was having an affair with Jodie Sue had to have been hard up, so I doubt it.
You don't think he was involved?
I don't, but
Andrew Anthony Paul.
who's that?
That's a connection to Marlena. I think it's her boyfriend or something. Frank Lott talked about him. Not Frank Lott. Fred Hill talked about him.
I don't know about that one.
Timothy Etherton. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I think Timmy is just a weird duck, is what I think about Timmy.
Okay. All right. Well, we got it cut down to a bunch instead of a whole slew or a whole town. Anyways, guys, anybody has any votes for any of those names to be put back on there, you let me know. Light scanner chatter understood, not understood though. I've tried calling him twice, guys. I can't get through to him.
Well, when you find out what's going on, definitely let us know.
If I find out anything, I will put it on my community tab, guys. If anything serious goes on, I'll jump on live.
Yeah, definitely. And let me know if you need me again. Just holler at me.
Absolutely.
I've been running to the hospital so much back and forth, and my granddaughter will be 5 years old here in a couple days. So I'm messing with her and my 12-year-old granddaughter. So we've been having a lot of fun, though. We've been playing a lot of games and staying busy. And I just pray she'll be home. My daughter will be home in a couple days as soon as they find out exactly what caused it and get her on the right antibiotics. She'll still have to go in as an outpatient every day to get her antibiotic, but hopefully they'll let her come home.
Yeah, hopefully. We're going to continue to pray, hon. And everybody, please don't forget to pray for Tina.
Definitely pray for Tina.
Kristen, he's okay, hon. He posted that 43 minutes before I tried to call him the first time. So if he's not answering, it's probably got something to do with the case. He's probably running up there to Hawkins County.
Yeah, when exactly was the CPS date for them to go in there? You know, Nana?
Somebody said that they were supposed to went in July, but Candace didn't go. I didn't hear anything about it. And
I had heard she signed over all of her rights.
The court date that I was the other day was evidently Don's review, his 6-month review, because that's when he went to court, was the 2nd.
Thank you, Corey.
Oh, see, I think Ellie needs to see the video of Timmy talking about sneaking off with the kid when his mom was distracted, if nothing else. Poor kid. Yeah, something's not right there. Oh, and guess what, guys? Just so you know, the little Gracie Robinson deal, that Eli Bowling, the one that posted it on Facebook,
Right?
and whoever it was that found out that he was supposed to have been a teenager after he claimed other stuff, he is going into his senior year of high school now. And when I confronted him about why he posted that, he was hacked.
Really?
His Facebook was hacked. They got on there and hacked a fake child being missing, I guess, to pull a joke on him. A high school kid.
That's not much of a joke. That doesn't sound right, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, if a high school kid's gonna hack another high school kid's Facebook, they're sure not gonna put a little girl who's not missing on a missing. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Right.
Yes,
Well,
vibes. Prayers for summer.
I don't know about him being creepy, but I can say with 100%, and I may be wrong or maybe taking it out of context, but I will tell you the way I understand it. Timmy Etherton is a heathen. In the Bible, it plainly states anybody that gets out there and does that and yells and carries on just for the attention of everybody around them is considered a heathen.
I agree with you. I mean, we could, Nana, make a list and we'll creep scale it. And we'll creep scale them and see who's the creepiest. And
maybe we ought to do a poll.
yeah, let's do a poll on which one of them's the creepiest.
Oh Lord, hang on. Oh no, this is a family who have gone missing. Holy crap.
Wow.
Can you send that to me? Where are they from, Christola?
That is horrible. A whole family.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear where they're from. Did you give Timmy a 10 on the creep scale?
I kind of give him we can even go up to 20 creep scale, and I'll put him at a 15.
Lana Lee, no, I don't think there's anybody in here that's suspicious of Jackie Dobbs. Not anybody.
No, I think he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I don't think if Jodie Sue wouldn't have came at him the way that she did, I don't even think Andy would have came at him the way that he did if it wasn't for Jodie Sue.
Mexico, Maine. There's a town in Maine called Mexico. We'll look it up, kid.
Look it up and let us know.
I definitely will, guys. We've got a couple more minutes.
Melissa, those Timmy doing his little YouTube videos and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty out there, I must say.
Oh, honey, Woodston, whatever. There's no way. That was one of the reasons I didn't even want to go to that vigil, because I would have, I couldn't have went there and not said something to him and told him exactly what I thought.
Yeah, I couldn't have went either, because there were a lot of them that I would have said a lot of things to.
I have a nephew that used to do that stuff. Oh, and by the way, guys, I need y'all, anybody that is interested or has the capability, I need this phone number looked up. And if you could tell me where it's located, this creep has started stalking my granddaughter last night. She has a brand new phone with a brand new phone number from Colorado. And he started calling her last night, telling her what kind of car she has, what kind of car she drives, the color, the fact that it's wrecked. And she has no clue who this guy is. Supposedly he's 30 years old. His name is Mike. My granddaughter is 17 years old.
Yeah, I think he's lying to her about his name too. If it's not showing up, his name on her caller ID or anything, I bet you his name isn't Mike.
I'm typing the number in the chat, guys. 786.
Yeah, Vibes, it does have to be somebody close to Summer. Yeah, Lana, it does seem like an exorcism, doesn't it?
Alrighty, guys. No Don B yet. Hang on, let me try one more time before we get off here.
Yeah, Happy, that's what I told her too, that they definitely needed to contact law enforcement and let them know exactly what's happening. Because that's pretty scary, especially for a 17-year-old.
So tell me what's going on. Your little cryptic message.
McBro, I'm kind of confused. Talking about was released by the wife. The call that was released by the wife. Lana, I wouldn't want none of them talking to me neither. It's very sad what we've all had to witness with Dawn and Candace, and it's unimaginable what those children went through every day and night.
Okay, sorry, Mary. Sorry. The only thing I can say, guys, is he is making a video on it. It will be released in the morning, letting you all know what he was meaning. And I mean, although he did tell me something, I'm not allowed to say it.
Well, then don't tease us with it then.
I'm not. I'm telling you, he said he's making a video on it and it'll be out in the morning.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Not my information to say, Mary. You know that.
That ain't right. You tell Don that ain't right. He's a tease.
I will. But nobody's getting arrested. Nothing is happening tonight. Just to let you all know, nothing's going on. No need to listen to scanners or anything like that.
Hey, I wanted to ask you before everybody gets off here, what do you think about that Johnny B?
I think he's tenacious. Tenacious. That's a good word for him.
Word. That's a great word.
That's a good word for him. I think it was Lana Lee, maybe not, that really likes him, but
well, I mean, he that's a great word to describe him. I just kind of found him. I found kind of put off by him just because of the way he kind of talked to people, you know.
Wasted law enforcement's time.
Yeah, I just thought it was disrespectful the way that he called him and was asking him silly questions and stuff like that, you know.
Did I dox somebody?
Christola, that's the number of the guy who's stalking
my granddaughter.
Her granddaughter.
So yes, I did. Anybody who can look that number up and give me some information, I would greatly appreciate it. I need to at least know where he's at. I know he's not in this town. That's East Tennessee area code, but not this area for the first 3 digits. She has a brand new phone number, guys, that's out of Colorado. Her dad just bought her the phone and got a new phone number for her. There's no way anybody has that phone number, but this guy has it.
Well, I want to thank everybody for letting me talk to y'all tonight.
You
I
are
appreciate
so
it.
you are so welcome to be up here. We are so glad you were here, Mary.
Well, I'm glad you had me. You know, I love everybody. I still try to stay to my name, remain calm. It's
Right.
very hard sometimes, but I learned to do a good job at it at times.
Well, we're glad that you were here. Happy 423 is for all of pretty much all of East Tennessee. We have 865 and 423. And that, but it's the middle three numbers that tells you what city.
Thank you, flies on the close wall.
When is court? Hopefully soon. Check plunder, I believe. Check plunder, I believe. She put out a recorded call from JD to his wife, but
That
dialed.
dial.
But dialed. Oh, I know that. I heard that.
Well, I thought it was weird that he went home and shaved his whole body, but
Well, who
I guess
knows? He shaved his whole body, or did he just shave his head and his beard?
and stuff.
It
I
could have
shouldn't
been.
say whole body because I haven't seen him naked. So
But Mary, there's a very good reason for that. Ticks.
not only that, but look how long when you're out somewhere like that. I guess for a guy it would be easier just to shave.
Right.
Thank
Crystal,
you, Carrie.
Crystal says you're amazing. Remain calm.
Oh, Crystal, I love you.
That's fine. I don't care. He's more than welcome to come up here on my panel anytime. I have no problem with Mr. Jackie Dobbs.
I don't think anybody really does. And of course I watched when Don B talked to him, and I found what I don't think he was bull crapping with anything he was saying. I think he was thrown into a big mess when he got there, and part of that was due to Jodie Sue.
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that Jody Sue and them have admitted that they were hunting for the man, I mean, that right there proves what he was saying is true.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy, because why would they even do that? I mean, like, he says that they could have been looking for me to set me up, and you know what? Good possibility. We don't know.
We don't know when it is. Yes, Bob G, he is a very nice man, or he seems that way. And instead of people throwing accusations at him, they probably need to be thanking him for the service that he gave.
Yeah, I just think, his name was out there. Of course, he was around the area or whatever. And I don't think with him it would have even went as far as it did if it, like I said, if it wasn't for Jodie Sue and Andy.
Right. I don't understand, TC. What does that mean?
Is that what the number spells? TC?
Lena, why are you doing that? Why are you jumping on the man? JD is the creepiest of all. No reason to go up there. Get a parcel with no dwelling. That's because people in this area buy property and they put a camper on it until they can build a house on it, because not everybody here is rich.
Well, not only that, Lana, but a lot of people buy parcels of land in the Appalachian Mountains, not even to put anything on it,
But to vacation on.
They go hunt. That's hunting. That's big time hunting right there.
Lana, the man was getting threatened. He was an old man up there by himself.
They have camera. They had cameras where he was staying that showed him there the whole time.
I think I see the real suspect. That plan didn't work. What plan?
I mean, you're fine, Lana. Here on Nana's channel, we all have different theories. We all just believe different things, and we respect whatever you have to say.
Thank you, TC DS Johnson City.
See, I didn't think his first name was Mike.
I greatly appreciate that, TC.
But no, Nana appreciates everybody's thoughts on everything. Nothing that anybody says is off limits.
No, but I get agitated at sometimes.
I know.
I mean, it's fine for somebody to have an opinion, but to keep on and on.
Yeah, I mean, once we kind of talk about it, and you know, it may not be your opinion or theory, and they try to beat it into your head. You know,
that, like what's on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. Thank you, all the mods, all my subscribers. Thank you, Mary.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, hon. And I do pray that your daughter keeps continuing to get better, hon.
Well, thank you. I'm hoping she'll be home in a couple days. I'm praying she is. I'm a little too old to be keeping up with two young kids.
Okay, Christella, we have given this lady chance after chance after chance. Can you please do your magic with Lana Lee?
Bye, Lana. Thanks for dropping in.
I'm just over it.
And you know what? If I'd have bought land there and I had the money to build a cabin on it, you better believe I'd build a cabin on it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just common sense there. Well, one person I didn't see tonight, and that was Charlie K. Eat your heart out, Charlie K.
Christella, did I block you?
No, I see her.
Okay.
I don't think you blocked her. Thank you, Beverly.
Thank you, Genevieve, for coming. Okay, Christella, I see you.
Really, thank you, guys. I hope I did okay.
You absolutely did fine, hon. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna
be standing here right by your side. I will be standing here till the end of time. I will be standing here all through the night. Till the stars align. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I, jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die.